Almost every garage has a can of WD-40 sitting on a shelf, but 95% of people only use it for squeaky hinges. Here's the truth. Dealership service departments quietly rely on this same $6 can to fake half the fixes they charge you hundreds for. Today, I'm showing you 20 insane WD-40 hacks dealers hope you never learn. Number 4 alone could save you a $500 repair bill. Let's get into it. Hack number 20, clean a gunked-up gas cap. Your gas cap looks crusty and hasn't been cleaned in years? Spray WD-40 generously around the threads, the underside, and the sealing ring. Let it sit for a minute, then wipe it down with a clean microfiber cloth. The formula dissolves hardened grime and restores a seal that snaps tight every time. Apply a light follow-up coat before screwing it back on. Do this every few months, and you'll likely never chase a fuel-related check engine light again. Dealers run a full diagnostic scan for that exact code when the fix was sitting in your garage the whole time. And it's a 2-minute job that keeps a check engine light from ruining your entire morning. But this next one fixes something that makes your side mirrors look permanently dirty. Hack number 19. Remove water spots from side mirrors. Cloudy white spots baked onto your mirrors are mineral deposits from rain and tap water bonding to the glass. Spray a light mist of WD-40 directly onto the mirror. Let it sit 30 seconds, then buff gently with a clean microfiber cloth in circular motions. Watch the deposits lift cleanly off, leaving glass that's clear and glare-resistant with a thin, water-repelling layer that makes rain bead right off. Make it a habit after every wash. A clear mirror isn't just about looks. It's about spotting the car in your blind spot before it's too late. Something a dealer will never mention while quoting you for a full mirror replacement instead of a $2 can of spray sitting in your garage. Hack number 18. Clean leather and vinyl seats. Dirt grinds into your leather seats until they look dull, cracked, and tired, and most people reach for expensive conditioners that strip the finish even further. Spray a small amount of WD-40 onto a clean microfiber cloth, never directly onto the seat, and wipe along the natural grain of the material. It lifts embedded grime and softens the leather without soaking through it. Follow up with a dry wipe, and the surface looks darker, cleaner, and noticeably more supple. Run it along your door panel inserts too, since they collect the same oils. Cracked leather is nearly impossible to fully restore once it's gone too far, so keeping it supple now saves you an expensive dealer reupholstery quote later, and it works on your center console trim too. Hack number 17. Restore dull brown tires. Your tires have that flat, brownish film that no amount of water seems to wash away, caused by brake dust, road tar, and rubber oxidation. Spray WD-40 directly onto the sidewall and work it in with an old cloth or detailing brush. It cuts through the oxidation in seconds, lifting the brown layer and revealing deep black rubber underneath. Wipe off the excess, and the difference is instant. It also creates a protective barrier that slows the browning process, so your tires stay blacker for longer between washes. A quick pass before a road trip makes the whole car look like it just rolled off the lot. No $30 tire shine bottle required. And the effect lasts far longer than any spray-on dressing you'd buy at the store. This next one saves your night vision. Hack number 16. Clean a hazy windshield. That smeared, oily haze on your glass makes every oncoming headlight bloom into a blinding starburst, and it's genuinely dangerous at night. The film is a mix of road exhaust and silicone vapor from your dashboard that water alone never fully removes. Spray a light coat of WD-40 onto the windshield. Spread it evenly with a microfiber cloth. Wait 30 seconds, then wipe it completely off with a clean, dry cloth. What comes off will surprise you. Brown filmy residue built up over months. The glass underneath comes out clear, smooth, and hydrophobic, causing rain to sheet straight off instead of smearing. Most drivers never think to use WD-40 on the inside of their glass, but detailers do it before every handoff, and once you try it, you'll never look at a bottle of glass cleaner the same way again. Hack number 15. Restore black, carbonized exhaust tips. That hardened soot baked onto your exhaust tips is killing the back end of an otherwise good-looking car, and regular soap doesn't touch it. Spray WD-40 generously inside and around the tip, let it soak into the carbon layer for a minute or two, then work it with a microfiber cloth or soft detailing brush. The buildup releases almost immediately, dark residue lifting cleanly off in long wipes. Buff it dry and the metal underneath shines like it just left the showroom floor. It also leaves a protective coating that makes future carbon buildup easier to remove. If you've got dual tips, do both together so the finish matches and looks intentional rather than half done. But this next hack fixes something you probably never clean at all. Hack number 14. Refresh cracked, faded rubber floor mats. Mud, salt, and road grime grind so deep into your mats that a rinse barely makes a dent. After hosing them down, spray a light coat of WD-40 over the surface and spread it evenly with a cloth. It seeps into the rubber, restoring flexibility and pushing out the deep-set grime water alone can't reach. Wipe off the excess and let them dry before laying them back in. They come back darker, refreshed, and solid black again, the way they looked when the car was new. The protective layer left behind also repels future moisture, making your next cleanup a fraction of the effort. This works just as well on trunk liners and cargo mats too, so don't stop at just the floor of the car. Hack number 13. Restore faded, milky taillights. That yellowed haze isn't just cosmetic, it scatters your light output and makes you harder to see for drivers behind you, which is a real safety issue. Spray WD-40 directly onto the lens and wipe in smooth circular motions with a clean microfiber cloth. Almost immediately, the fog lifts and the lens looks clearer, brighter, and sharper. The formula fills in microscopic surface scratches, restores light transmission, and leaves a thin protective layer that slows future fading. Keep a can in your trunk and hit the lenses every couple of months to stay ahead of it. Dealers quietly do this exact trick before handing back loaner cars, and customers always assume they got new lights installed, when really it was a 2-minute wipe down that cost less than a coffee. Hack number 12. Clean dusty interior surfaces for good. Your dashboard and door panels have a thick gray film that regular wipe downs never fully clear. Spray a small amount of WD-40 onto a microfiber cloth, never directly onto the surface, and wipe along the dashboard, door panels, and trim pieces. It traps and lifts dust instead of spreading it, and leaves behind a conditioning layer that makes plastic and vinyl repel future buildup. Your interior won't just look cleaner, it'll stay cleaner longer between wipes. Pay extra attention to the air vents, since dust packed in those fins gets recirculated through your cabin every time the AC runs. Detailers use this as a finishing step on every single car before it leaves the shop, and it's the reason a freshly detailed interior always smells and feels noticeably different. Hack number 11. Coat your paint for protection. Bird droppings, tree sap, and road tar land on your hood every single day, and any one of them can etch into your clear coat if left to bake in the sun. After a wash and dry, spray a light mist of WD-40 onto one panel at a time and buff it evenly with a clean microfiber cloth. The surface takes on a deep, wet-looking shine, and the protective film left behind makes contaminants slide right off on contact. It's not a substitute for wax or ceramic coating long-term, but as a quick layer between full details, it's one of the most underrated moves out there. A basic respray on a single panel can run over $1,000, and this $6 can is all that stands between your paint and that bill. Before we get into the hacks that will really blow your mind, do me a favor and hit that like button. Hours of research go into these scripts, and every like helps us keep exposing what dealers don't want you to know. All right, back to it. Hack number 10. Lubricate a stiff seatbelt. If your belt sticks mid-draw or snaps back unevenly, that's not something to ignore, since a belt that doesn't retract properly can fail to hold tension in a collision. Pull the belt out to full extension and spray a light, even mist, of WD-40 along the entire length of the webbing. Work it gently into the fabric with a clean cloth, then let it retract slowly several times. The formula loosens built-up grime and lubricates the internal spring mechanism, restoring that smooth, consistent pull and retract that tells you it's working correctly. Do every belt in the car while you're at it. A dealership seatbelt replacement can run $200 to $500, so keeping yours maintained with a $2 fix is one of the smartest moves you'll make all year. Hack number 9. Fix a sluggish ignition switch. You insert your key, and instead of a clean, snappy turn, you feel stiffness or grinding resistance. Most people assume the ignition cylinder is failing, but 9 times out of 10, it's just dust and dried out lubricant inside the lock tumbler. With the key out, spray a short, controlled burst of WD-40 directly into the keyhole. Insert your key and turn it slowly back and forth several times to work the formula through the mechanism. What felt like a seized cylinder starts turning smoothly with every pass. Ignition cylinder replacements at a dealership can run $150 to $400, and most of the time, the real problem is nothing more than a dried-out lock that a $6 can fixes in under a minute. Hack number 8. Silence a squealing serpentine belt. Your belt screams every time you start the car, and that squeal happens when dust, humidity, or surface glazing causes it to slip over the pulleys instead of gripping them. Before you replace anything, grab your WD-40. With the engine off, give the belt's inner surface and each pulley a light controlled mist. Start the car, and the squeal drops away almost immediately. It's not a permanent fix if the belt is genuinely worn out, but it's the fastest way to find out whether you need a new one or just a clean one. A new serpentine belt at a dealership can cost $100 to $250 in labor alone, so knowing the difference before you walk through that door puts the power back in your hands. Hack number 7. Free up stiff window tracks. If your window grinds, squeaks, or hesitates every time you roll it down, the rubber-lined channels the glass slides through have collected dust and moisture until it's practically dragging through mud. Lower the window halfway and spray WD-40 directly into the exposed track on both sides. Run the window up and down several times slowly to work the formula through the full length of the channel. What was grinding will now glide with barely any sound at all. Don't forget the rear windows either, since those tracks usually get neglected even longer. A window regulator replacement, the mechanism that actually moves the glass, can run $150 to $300 at a dealership, and keeping the tracks lubricated is the easiest way to make sure you never need one. Hack number 6. Free a stuck power side mirror. If the motor strains every time you hit the button, you're driving with a blind spot on every lane change, and the problem usually isn't the motor at all. It's the pivot joints gummed up with road grime and corroded from moisture in the housing. Spray WD-40 carefully into the joint and around the adjustment housing. Give it a minute to penetrate, then try your controls again. You'll often feel the mirror loosen immediately, tracking smoothly through its full range of motion. Power mirror. Motor replacements can cost $100 to $250 in parts and labor at a dealership, and the real tragedy is that most of the time, the motor was never actually the problem to begin with. Hack number 5. Unstick a seized parking brake cable. You release your parking brake, and the car doesn't move because the cable has frozen or corroded inside its housing. Before you call a tow truck, locate the cable running underneath the vehicle along the chassis. Spray WD-40 generously along the cable length and directly into any exposed housing openings. Then let it soak for several minutes. Cycle the parking brake on and off while gently rocking the car. The lubricant breaks the corrosion bond inside the housing, restores cable movement, and releases the lock tension. Parking brake cable replacements can run $100 to $300 depending on your vehicle, and the frustrating part is that regular lubrication with a $6 can would have prevented the whole situation from the start. Hack number 4. Clean your mass airflow sensor. If your engine is running rough, the throttle feels hesitant, and your fuel economy has quietly tanked, check this sensor before paying for a full diagnostic scan. When it gets coated with oil residue and dust, it sends wrong data to your engine's computer, causing poor performance and wasted fuel. Remove the sensor from the air intake housing, usually 2 screws and a connector clip. Spray WD-40 lightly across the sensor wires and sensing elements. Let it sit for about 60 seconds, then gently wipe with a clean, dry cloth and let it fully air dry before reinstalling. A brand new sensor can cost over $300 at a dealership, so spending 60 seconds with a can of WD-40 first is always worth the attempt. Hack number 3. Restore your front grille. It's the face of your car, and right now it looks like a bug graveyard. Road debris and baked-on insects turning what was once a sharp finish into a dull, pitted mess. Spray WD-40 generously across the grille surface, working it into the slats and mesh where residue has baked in. Let it sit for a minute, then work through it with a soft detailing brush. Wipe it down with a clean microfiber cloth and stand back. The grime lifts cleanly, the finish darkens and sharpens, and a thin protective layer is left behind that makes future bugs and debris far easier to clean off. The front grille is the first thing anyone sees when your car pulls up, and body shops use this exact trick as a pre-sale touch-up before putting cars on the lot. Hack number 2. Free frozen locks and latches. It's freezing outside, you're late for work, and your car door won't open. You twist the key, pull the handle, nothing, because ice has locked up the latch or the cylinder, and forcing it can snap the key or jam the mechanism for good. Don't pour hot water on it, that only makes things worse when it refreezes. Instead, spray WD-40 directly into the keyhole, latch, or hinge area. It cuts through the ice, melts the buildup, and drives out the moisture hiding inside. Give it a few seconds, then try your key again or pull the handle, and it should move freely without a fight. Do this before every cold snap, and your doors will always open smooth. No dealership diagnostic needed for a lock that was never actually broken. Hack number 1. Revive a flooded or wet ignition. You turn the key and the engine just coughs. No start, no spark, just frustration, and most people assume it's a dead battery. 9 times out of 10, the real problem is moisture that's crept into your ignition system after a car wash, a flooded street, or a humid night. Water gets into the ignition coils, spark plug boots, or distributor cap, and electricity goes everywhere except where it should. Pop the hood, grab your WD-40, and spray directly on the ignition coils, plug boots, and distributor. The formula forces out the moisture and coats the surface so current flows properly again. Wait a minute, then start the car, and it roars back to life like nothing ever happened. Dealers would rather tow your car in for hours of diagnostics than tell you it was ever this simple. How many of these 20 hacks did you already know? Drop a comment and tell me which one surprised you the most. If this video just saved you a dealership repair bill, smash that subscribe button because we've got way more secrets like this coming your way. And if you want even more tricks dealers hope you never find out about, click the video on your screen right now.